Hello, welcome back to Amber Unabridged. Right now, today, at this moment, I am going to be doing my July wrap-up. A lot of these were audiobooks, so I don't have physical copies of most of them. I have a physical copy of one of them that I couldn't find, so, whatever. The first book that I finished in July was The Surgeon by Tess Gerritsen. It's the first book in the Rizzoli and Isles series. It was alright. It was interesting. Found out that it was possibly an abridged version, and that upsets me. It was fine. It was interesting. I was curious, but I got the audiobook for it so that I could read it for the... I've got it right here. So I read it for the mystery by a person of color or LGBTQ plus author. And I actually got to meet her at this author event a couple years ago. She was doing she was the keynote speaker. And yeah, so I just saw her on one of the lists and I was like, oh hey, and so then I gave it a shot and it was fine. Second book that I finished was Howl's Moving Castle by Diane Wynne Jones. I really liked it. It was just kind of fun. Next two books that I finished are volumes 5 and 6 of Lock and Key by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. I have already posted a video with my thoughts on that series, so I won't bore you all anymore, but also go read it. It's amazing. Oh, and I don't have physical copies of those anymore because I had borrowed them from a friend of mine and I've since returned them. I need to own them, so I will at some point in my life. The next book that I finished was Libriomancer by Jim C. Hines. I have a physical copy, but I lent that to a friend and I happened to listen to it as an audiobook just to kind of mix it up a bit for that one. Because the first time I'd read it years ago was a physical copy that I'd borrowed from my brother and my sister-in-law, and I have still never read my own physical copy of the book. I am hoping to get around to the next couple books in the series. I have volumes 2 and 3 over there. So yeah, it's a pretty, I think I gave it 5 stars again, maybe 4. Either way, I love that book. It's fantastic. I mean, it's about people who can reach into books and pull stuff out of the books. You can't go wrong with that. The next book that I finished was, and I have my physical copy, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I listened to an audiobook of it because I was at work and I wanted to listen to something fun, and I found it on Spotify, and so I listened to it and it was awesome, and I really enjoyed this. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was just kind of magical. I filmed a review for this book. I have not posted it yet, but that'll be showing up at some point. The next book I read was also an audiobook. I listened to a lot of audiobooks this month. And it was The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. That one was cute. There were bits of it that reminded me of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and of The Neverending Story. But it was... something about it just kind of didn't quite reach the same level that the other two did for me. I enjoyed it. I really liked Oz. I thought it was a fun world that was built. My favorite part of it was the Chinatown, because it was China like ceramic, not China like the country, and there was just like little people, little ceramic cows, and they were milking the cows and getting little ceramic milk bits or something. I was like, this is just so cool and weird and I like it. So yeah, there were parts of it I liked a lot. It was fine. It was good. I gave that one 3 stars. Whew. The next book that I read was My Friend Dahmer by Derf Backderf. This book fulfills several read harder prompts for this year. It's a comic that isn't published by Marvel, DC, or Image. It is a comic written and illustrated by the same person. It's a book of true crime. It's a book with a cover I hate because I hate movie cover versions. I'm aiming to find a different book for every prompt this year, so I will probably just choose one of those to fit this into. But it was good. I don't remember what I rated this. So it's like you go into it and you see where he was a normal kid sort of at one point, and you see how he wasn't, and but then also knowing what he ended up doing, it was rough. It was a rough read. Nonetheless, I read it in a single sitting also. And then I proceeded to go directly to sleep and have nightmares. It was a good time. If you're interested in true crime or psychology or memoirs or anything, it's worth checking out. I thought it was really well done. And the last book that I have completed in the month of July is Meg by Steve Alten. I participated in the Megalong that Erica over at Perks of Books started and directed and ran, or what have you. This book was not my favorite book, even though there were many things in this book that were infuriating and awful. I had a lot of fun reading it, and I especially enjoyed participating in the Megalong because it was just fun to read it with everybody else that was participating, seeing all the comments, and the interactions were pretty great. Yeah, it wasn't great. I've read worse. So I gave this 3 stars because I was entertained by it at the very least. I did enjoy it, and even though it took me a while just because this month has been nutty for me. I went to 3 weddings this month, guys. Whew. And a bachelorette party. It's been a time. But even though this month has been pretty nutty, I managed to, whenever I would sit down to read it, it went by really quick. So, yeah, it was a good quick read. It was fun. It was terrible, but it was fun, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, 9 books this month in July. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's my wrap up for July. If you read any of these books or are interested in any of these books or have any recommendations based on any of these books, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. And yeah. So yeah, I will catch you on the flip side.